One thing all bad heroes have in common is having a UI that's complete chaos. Today, we are going to look at the most important healing add-ons and some quick tips on how to use them. Number 1. Every single hero should have method raiding tools. This add-on has 19 different categories of what it can do. However, the vast majority is oriented toward raid leaders. Us healers care about 4 of those in particular. First off, nodes. All great healers know how they'll be using their CDs before the very first pool, and 95 out of 100 pools they'll follow through with that plan. But what can often happen is, despite you preparing and knowing when to be using your CDs, in the chaos of things, you forget. And that's where the node comes in. You can write down when you want to be using all of your stuff, not to mention that once you get into good guilds, having this add-on will be mandatory, as your CDs will be assigned by the healing officer. As a bonus tip to this, I love using the ERT timers Weakauras. What it does is, instead of me having to look for when to use my CDs on this tiny little node, when it's getting close, the Weakauras is going to start counting down in big text in the middle of my screen, when exactly I need to place my tranquility, Ashen, you name it. Also, if your class has smaller CDs that you are in full control of, so like Convoke, Cloudburst and so on, writing down when you want to use them will make your life a lot easier. Number 2 is raid cooldowns, an easy way to stand out in raids as a healer. The cooldown section allows you to keep track of any cooldown in the game. Now, why is this good? Well, there have been countless times where being able to see cooldowns of other healers or even DPSers made me save a wipe by calling someone to use their CD when I saw that us healers needed help. Or even not using mine when I see that someone just used theirs. Seeing Ashen Hollow and Tree of Life or Spiritual being popped at the same time is never a good look. If you have a decent PC, I would 100% recommend you to enable automatic combat logging. If you are even semi-serious, you want to be using WoW Analyzer, and chances are you've been in a situation or you joined a random bug, raid, dungeon and nobody was logging or it was private. So, in my case, despite the fact that my guild is private, I can upload the logs as unlisted, put them into WoW Analyzer and see that I still suck. Never mind. Number 4, this little pop-up. It makes everything so much less stressful. When the leader does ready check, instead of scrambling through your bags, you simply click 5 icons and you are good to go. Number 2. If this list was ordered by priority, BigWigs would have easily taken the second place. Failing to prepare is preparing to fail. And if you don't know what mechanics are coming, you are definitely going to fail more often than not. The common trap you want to avoid is installing it and calling it done. No. Just like with every element of one's UI, if you put in the time to customize it, you're going to see massive returns on investment. You die a lot less, memorize timers better and be happier with your UI. 2 main things you definitely want to adjust. Number 1, how it looks visually. For most people, how BigWigs look by default is pretty ugly, yet they never change it. When you take the time to play with it, not only is it going to look a lot better, but you also have easier time paying more attention to it. The second thing you want to do is play around with each boss and recognize what you care about a lot, somewhat and not at all, and then adjust accordingly. If you care about something a lot, make it a different color and add some sound to it, so it stands out. For me, it's always the strongest hitting abilities, so think like Titanic Death Case on the Eye of the Jailer, Resentment on the 9, and so on. Most of the abilities will however fall into the somewhat category, and there you keep it as it is. And finally, almost all bosses have 1 or 2 abilities that you don't care about at all. What do you do about those? You simply remove them. No point in seeing information that's not useful. Remember, the main goal of everything you do with your UI is to see what you need to see and remove everything else. Number 3. If somebody told me I can use only one add-on for the rest of my life, I would say Weakauras without any hesitation. This add-on has it all. From simple icons and timers that show your cooldowns, to different bars, and even text that tells you what to do and so on. There's a very good reason that top guilds like Echo and Limit have dedicated people just to code Weakauras for them. Because, let me tell you, if you learn how to work with these and start transferring your ideas from head into the actual game and seeing it work, the game will belong to you. The best part is, if you are new and have no clue what's going on, you can simply go to vego.io, look for the Weakauras you think you would like, and use that. The general Weakauras you definitely want to have are Dungeon Pack, Raid Pack, and I'm also a huge fan of Sanctum Glows, where each important debuff in Sanctum of Domination gave my frames a glow outline, and chances are that we are going to get sepulchre glows as well, so you definitely want to be on the lookout for that. Number 4. DPS/Healing Meter add-on. You have 3 options here: Details, SCADA, and Recount, with Details being the best one. You want one of those not only because it gives you instant feedback on how you are doing, but also for a multitude of other options, such as being able to see how you or someone in your group died, avoidable damage taken, healthstone health potion usage, and even interrupts and dispels. Again, making it do exactly what you want from it is the most important thing. Number 5. Every single hero should own an add-on that changes the default way to see party and raid frames, or in the very least, put some time into making the default look amazing. There are plenty of options ranging from keeping it default, LVI, Voodoo, Healbot, or my preferred, Grid 2. Regardless of which one you choose, same with BigWigs, you want to spend a lot of time customizing it so it does exactly what you want from it. The defaults are almost always ugly, don't show the information you need to see or show irrelevant stuff. 5 main things I would definitely consider adding apart from how it looks are: Number 1, create some sort of visuals for shields. Number 2, enable incoming heals. Number 3, add all important debuffs for both the current raid and dungeons. Number 4, track when people use their defensives. And number 5, make sure all of your important spells are visible in one way or another, so like Riptide, Rejuvenation, Power Word Shield, and so on. I literally turned Terragru into a game where all I have to do is replace that color with pink. I could talk for days about all the optimizations and how to set up your grid too, so if you would want that, make sure to let me know in the comments below. Number 6. We all have that one friend who always stands in fire, regardless of how many times you tell them to move. But if you are that one friend, you need to get GTFO. In short, whenever you stand in anything even remotely bad, this add-on is going to make sure you know through some very obnoxious noise. Some people think it's too much. However, if you are a very sound and visual person like me, it makes paying attention to my surroundings so much easier. Number 7. Now that you have Grid 2 or Voodoo installed, we need something to cover the remaining frames. ShadowedUnitFrames gets the job done perfectly. It gives you full freedom by allowing you to choose which frames you want to see and which ones you don't. Most people like to see their health. However, as a healer, I don't. So my main bar, which would normally show HP, shows me just my mana. Again, customize, customize, customize. Number 8. When I sometimes watch other people, it feels like they are playing the wrong genre and want an immersive first-person experience. If you are that player, I don't know what's going on inside your head, but please get checked. That's why you should have MaxCam. It increases the maximum camera range beyond what you can already do in-game, and the easiest way to dodge more mechanics is to see them faster and for longer. Number 9. Must have for Mythic Plus and optional for raiding is OmniCD. Simply put, allows you to see any important cooldowns of your teammates. Especially helpful if you are recording and want to check if people used all of their stuff available without having to dig through logs. Number 10. If you ever had to pack, you know that it can take ages scrolling the endless options trying to find the one you need. Not with PremadeGroupFinder. For example, if you are looking to do the first 3 bosses on Mythic, instead of having to look for the tiny little text, you can filter it out, and also allows you to filter by roles already in group, although this is mainly for the Mythic Plus groups. But if you are a healer with a DPS friend, you can filter groups that have 3 people at most and need a healer and a DPS. Also, a side tip, if you type the keystone level or keystone level to keystone level, you can easily filter only the key levels you want. Links in the description, and see you next time. Also, watch this next.